Mswati inkosi ithula akayithathe akahambe nayo akayithathe yotenza kade ngone akayithathe
Your time is 2 p.m. and this is the Tuesday edition of Market View right here on Eswatini TV. I am Nathalie Sitole. Glad to have you on the program. For years, limited access to finance has been rather identified as one of the biggest obstacles facing smallholder farmers and rural entrepreneurs across the country. Many have been locked out of formal financial systems due to a lack of collateral, limited credit and weak market linkages. In response, the government, with support from the International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD, launched the Financial Inclusion and Cluster Development Project, FINCLUDE. The initiative was designed to expand access to financial services, strengthen agricultural value chains, and certainly support rural enterprise development. Now, as the project enters its final stretch towards its scheduled closure in March of 2027, there has been the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Center for Financial Inclusion, CFI, which is actually the lead implementing agency, and Eswatini Water and Agricultural Development Enterprise, EWADE, to unpack the significance of this agreement and the performance of the FINCLUDE project to date. We'll speak to CFI CEO Siza Gele-Dlamini, but first, let's get you up to speed with some of the latest in business. In our business news, the 5th SACU task team meeting on the automotive and green mineral beneficiation sector is exploring ways to strengthen the automotive and green mineral beneficiation value chains to unlock opportunities that link mineral resources to vehicle manufacturing, expand regional industrial capacity, and position SACU economies to participate more effectively in international markets. Speaking during the meeting, the chairperson of the committee, Sibu Kumalo, said that with the African Continental Free Trade Area in place and the volatility of international markets, now is the time to strengthen the region's trade relations both within Africa and with international countries. The meeting is held at the Happy Valley Hotel in Eswatini.
Task team continuing with its work, where a pivotal moment in the world is characterized by heightened trade tension, including the continued war between Israel and Lebanon, and as well the US and Iran. This poses a significant risk to all of us. Therefore, it is important to re-emphasize that SACU's market is too small to adopt in an inward-looking strategy, which is a clarion call to all of us that regional and continental integration is indispensable to build the resilience to adapt to new realities. For SACU economies that are largely reliant on commodity export and regional trade, these trends present both challenges and opportunities. External shocks and supply chain disruption highlight the need for economic diversification, regional integration, and resilience building.
The Undersecretary in the Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade, Phesheya Dube, says he hopes the 4-day meeting will forge a clear way forward in advancing the work of the task team with the aim of strengthening SACU economies, creating meaningful employment and embodying the true spirit of value chain development in the region.
It is with particular pride that we note our meeting coincides with a landmark occasion for the Kingdom of Eswatini, the 40th Ruby celebration of His Majesty King Mswati X's reign. This significant milestone underscores 4 decades of steadfast leadership, national stability, and the enduring commitment to progress that have come to define our nation. As we reflect on this historic achievement, let us draw inspiration from the values of vision, resilience, and unity that His Majesty's reign embodies, values that resonate deeply with the objectives of our own gathering here today. As SACU member states, we recognize our strength lies in our unity. The Algeria-Egypt agreement presents a remarkable opportunity for our region, and the Kingdom of Eswatini wishes to emphasize the importance of fully embracing such initiatives. By leveraging this partnership, we can expand our markets, enhance our competitiveness, and ensure that our industries are not only regionally integrated but also globally relevant.
According to the SACU website, the task team recognizes the automotive and mineral beneficiation sector as a key driver of regional industrialization, economic diversification, and the development of higher value industries instead of relying solely on the export of raw materials. This strategic priority supports the growth of regional value chains, generates specialized employment opportunities, and enhances participation in the electric vehicle and clean energy markets. Reporting, Nelson Ndlangamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ezulwini.
The Central Bank of Eswatini will, from the 2nd to the 3rd of next month, host the governors of countries under the Common Monetary Area, which are Lesotho, Namibia, South Africa. Eswatini is part of the Common Monetary Area. This was recently shared by the governor of the Central Bank of Eswatini, Dr. Phili Mnisi. The governor says among the areas of discussion in the closed meeting will be economic and macroeconomic convergence, where countries as a region review key economic indicators such as inflation, interest rates, budget deficits as a percentage of gross domestic product, total debt exposure, and non-performing loan ratios. Marks help central banks monitor progress and ensure a thriving common monetary area without any country lagging behind. The governor notes that the ultimate goal is for the countries to eventually achieve a single currency for Africa, similar to the historical union. He added that the meeting will also address cross-border payments, currency and governance issues, legal and regulatory standardization, and IT systems in financial regulation, with the aim of removing bottlenecks and reducing systemic risks. The meeting brings together common monetary area governors to advance regional macroeconomic stability, deepen financial integration, and review monetary policies among member states, including South Africa, Namibia, Lesotho, and Eswatini, amid volatile global economic conditions. And you're up to date with some of the latest in business. After the break, we speak to CFI CEO. Stick around. This is Market View.
To all the viewers of Eswatini TV in the kingdom and beyond. Eswatini TV is regulated by the Eswatini Communications Commission through the Broadcasting Code and Broadcasting Guidelines. Under these instruments, the station commits to broadcasting information and news that have been fact-checked, programs and content in respectful language with no elements of hate speech, violence or sexual activity. If you hear any unsuitable content on this channel, you have a right to voice your complaints with the station management. Should you not be satisfied with the response or action taken, you can escalate your matter to the Communications Commission at PO Box 7811 Mbabane. Call 2406 7000 or send an email to info@esccom.org.za. For more information, visit www.esccom.org.za.
Welcome back. And moving on with the program, the Eswatini Water and Agricultural Development Enterprise, EWADE, and the Center for Financial Inclusion have signed a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, aimed at fast-tracking the successful closeout of the FinCLUD project. This strategic partnership seeks to maintain the project's progress, protect achievements made so far, and broaden its impact on rural micro-entrepreneurs and smallholder farmers across Eswatini. The FinCLUD project, which centers on financial inclusion and climate-resilient agriculture, has already benefited more than 13,500 smallholder farmers and micro-entrepreneurs. To help us understand more about this Memorandum of Understanding, we are now joined by Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Financial Inclusion, Sizakele Dlamini. Nkosi, good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us. Maybe you could start us off by just unpacking this Memorandum of Understanding that has been signed by the CFI with EWADE. What does it actually cover? What are the key areas of collaboration?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Indeed, we have signed an MOU with EWADE that is supposed to ensure that the project is completed successfully and that we don't lose the gains we made during the project. Project comes to an end at implementation stage in September this year, 2026. And next year, March, it's actual closure, meaning between September and March, we will be doing a wrap-up. So we realize that we do not want to lose the gains and want to ensure that the farmers and the beneficiaries of the FinCLUD project continue to benefit and to get the necessary support until they're able to stand on their own feet and obviously do not need that support. Maybe just briefly, I know you asked me about the MOU, but probably starting from just briefly what we were doing.
Okay.
We were linking farmers to markets, which has been very successful. We have a number of partners we signed MOUs with who take the produce from the farmers by schedule, obviously. And then we're also linking the beneficiaries now, the farmers, the clusters, linking them to affordable finance. So this MOU says we want to upscale and bring the project to close, maintain the gains, keep the farmers supported, the smallholders and other groups that we have been working with, keep them under EWADE for support, and CFI, obviously, we need to continue supporting them as far as the finance is concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
The project has been running for several years now, Nkosi, and farmers have benefited through the various existing financial instruments under CFI. But one wonders, it's about to conclude. Why is EWADE relevant now?
EWADE is relevant because the work we have started needs to continue.
Yeah.
And also relevant because we have not come to project close. Just so that EWADE comes with expertise, like I said. We need EWADE to continue, upscale, ensure the speed in delivery, and we bring the project to a positive close, and also then carry on. Financial instruments, CFI will continue with providing those to our beneficiaries through partnerships that we have with the financial sector. Yeah.
CEO, what will be the responsibilities that EWADE will be undertaking as part of the MOU?
Yes. As part of the MOU, okay, maybe let me just briefly unpack the MOU. MOU says EWADE is seconding the project management unit to CFI. And by them seconding the PMU, it means for all intents and purposes, they are part of CFI. CFI remains the lead implementing agency for the project. But E-Wade, with the project management unit, now ensures actual delivery at a technical level, which is a skill that we have not had as CFI in terms of farming, all that. We are mostly finance people. E-Wade comes with that expertise. Obviously, we have to acknowledge that with the partnerships we had with Ministry of Agriculture and others, we have managed to make good progress. But I can assure you, we're expecting an upscale now with E-Wade coming on board.
Right. You are touching on how E-Wade is coming in with the technical expertise. We know E-Wade for its work in agricultural development, smallholder commercialization, and rural infrastructure. How do you think this partnership now, or those strengths, in some shape or form, complement FinClude's financial inclusion mandate?
Yeah, they certainly do. Because financial inclusion in isolation with no project to support becomes just theory. So E-Wade is coming to ensure that the groups and clusters that we have formed and supported as CFI, they will continue with that support. The project comes to a close, and when a project comes to a close, unfortunately, you do lose some people because there's no funding. But E-Wade is still there. There's a project that is incoming, the SAPEMP project. It's actually building on what FinClude has done. So as I speak, we already have handed over all our clusters, all our groups to E-Wade. We've done that audit before end of March. We're engaging. The signing of this MOU is actually happening at the end. We've done all the work, engaged, gone to see what's on the ground. What needs to be strengthened, what needs to be improved, which group needs more support, which groups can be brought together, which group can be advised on several issues. So yes, we really look forward to working with E-Wade, and we are confident that we will make the gains we intend to.
It's a handover, more final touches. But what about the farmers or the beneficiaries on the ground? Should they expect any changes that come with this partnership?
It's yes, they will.
What are those changes?
The SAPEMP project that is building on partially from FinClude. We're talking of existing farmers of the FinClude project, eh? Those the project comes with some additional support, where we see that if you're at level 1 with the SAPEM project and the support we're getting from E-Wade, there's a possibility, a high possibility for you to grow because it's broader in scope. It even accommodates issues of infrastructure and others. So we said, with the same funder being IFAD for SAPEMP and FinClude, let's hand over and close project, and then the collaboration, the partnership, we don't see it coming to an end. Because as long as we have smallholder farmers, they will need financial support. They will need financial literacy training. They will need business mentoring and all that. So we are actually, whilst we're handing over, also looking to see where we can also support as the CFI. Yeah.
And smallholder farmers really are an integral part of not only the agricultural sector, but Eswatini's economy as a whole. Your parting shorts, Ngozi, why this MOU matters now? Is it, you've already clarified it's not really changing anything because the financial instruments will still be there, but is it an entire takeover? Maybe they shouldn't be worried so much.
Our farmers should not be worried.
Okay.
We remain a government entity implementing government business. Government has prioritized smallholder farmers with the recognition of the contribution to the economy. So we'll always be there, we'll always support. And the beauty of I'll just speak to the LOCs and the line of credit. I mean, the line of credit and the risk instruments that we have. You don't necessarily have to come in from as a FinCloud beneficiary. As long as you're in the business of what we do, you are most welcome. We talk to you, we provide the support, and things continue flowing.
Gosi, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much for joining us. That was Sizakele Dlamini, Chief Executive Officer of the Center for Financial Inclusion, just unpacking the recently signed MOU with eWade. This is Market View. The show continues after this. We're back with in-house economist Anele Sibia.
bayethe wena waphakathi silo sikhulu singemaswati sikubonile uhlele esihlalweni sebukhosi iminyaka lengamashumi lamane ngakho ke sicela sibonga umdali ngawe ngoba kulamashumi lamane sibone intuthuko lenkulu kakhulu eSwatini sibone usakhela i-constitution sabona uqinisa kundlela lesibusa ngayo singemaswati tinkhundla letinkhundla utibhice nebuntu bethu nesilungu siphinze sibonge silo sikhulu kwekuthi usakhele ebuhlobo ngaphandle lapho sibone khona la banye baholi bahlukubeteka kepha wena ngekuthi uyinkosi yemhlaba wabathatha labo baholi wabafaka esiswini sakho sithi silo sikhulu sifisa konke lokufisile ngalelive lakho uqhubeke ukhule ezukhula nawe nathi singemaswati sikhule kanye nawe ngendlela lophethe ngayo losithandza ngayo sonke singemaswati ungabalibala lemuntu sithi silo sikhulu nathi sikuthandza ngayo le ndlela siyathandaza uNkulunkulu ukuthi akunike lo munye 40 years noma ngetulu ngoba siyakudzinga bayethe wena waphakathi.
Welcome back. Moving on to our market analysis segment. In-house economist Anele Sibia joins me in the studio. Mr. Sibia, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming through today. So I think we do have just about 5 minutes to go. But what would be market's biggest concern now ahead of, looking at the week and the data that's supposed to come out this week?
Thank you, Notile. Good afternoon to you, and also good afternoon to the viewer. So what markets are doing right now, they have pivoted from the worries around the geopolitical tensions. Just to look at the numbers, that's the resilience of the UK economy, the jobs data that came out of the US last week, and then also we are looking at the rally that we are seeing being driven by the AI stocks. So now that is what markets are mulling in, and then also there is a bit of hope towards the fact that we are going to be seeing a ceasefire in a short while. So that's what we are seeing markets just trying to price in. But mostly they're just focused on the fundamentals of trade, just zoning out the noise to do with the geopolitical tensions. So starting in the US, that is actually quite visible in markets in today's trade, where you are seeing that the Dow Jones Industrial Average actually ended up on a losing streak, but the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 are actually up following those movements along the those faults in terms of the AI stocks and the AI spending there. So now that's where we are seeing markets going in the US. And also we're seeing that bit of a closing in the treasury bond yields, which somehow signals that markets are expecting, the war to come to an end, and then eventually we're going to start seeing interest rates fall. So that is how the situation looks in the US. And then coming into Europe, again, we are seeing those signs of some slight positives in the markets in Europe, with London just basically flatlining on the red. But when you go into France and Germany, there you are seeing those positive trends in market movements today. Now, that's largely driven by the resilience of the UK economy. And then also the German economy somehow exported more than expected last month. So now that in itself just shows that the AI rally really is benefiting a lot of the markets. And then coming into...
Can I interject, Mrs. Bia? My producer tells me we might have to go for a quick short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ifike emaphethelweni isizini ya 2025-2026 ebholeni letinyawo tiningi indzaba letendekile lokufaka ekhatsi tinsolo tekufumbatiswa kwabonombembe iyawudlala kuphi iManzini Wanderers kusizini letako kanye ne-ownership yembabane Swallows.
Akhona nema-lessons as the chairman of the Premier League lenawadrowa kule saga yonke le, and nguphi lana bona khona ukuthi probably we need to improve here in future.
Thina sing-PLE siyalihlonipha siyalithanda liqembu leManzini Wanderers ezilimemba lethu njengawo onke.
Kuselehlela sakhe kethu ngalisathu ngensimbi emfica ebusuku emsakatweni etithombe i-Eswatini TV dabenhleti phansi na Premier League chairman Polycarp Dlamini asiniketa-ke timphendvulo kuletinye taleti ndzaba letikhona ebholeni yakithi. Rise it. It's Wednesday at 9.
Welcome back. Thank you very much for your patience. We're still in conversation with Mr. Spear, just showing updates on the latest in terms of markets today, this trading day. Actually, Mr. Spear, you were taking us through the European stock market.
Yes, thank you, Notsile. So what we're seeing in Europe again is an overall positive trend, with Germany exporting more than expected last month. So we're seeing that pull towards the green back on the 24,000 mark in Frankfurt. And then France remains relatively above the 8,000 mark. Now that's given those sentiments around an expectation with a ceasefire deal. And then when we move on to Asia, the Asian markets again are somewhat on the green, with Japan, just getting back on the 65,000 mark. Hong Kong, they're just sliding a bit, but Shanghai, there is up 50.69 points there. Now that is a rally that is driven largely by the performance of the tech stocks in global markets. And then when we come into South Africa is also on a positive note, up 824 points, driven by the fact that we are expecting tensions to cool in the Middle East. And there we are seeing the South African Stock Exchange benefiting from that price of oil coming down to that $92,000 per barrel, $92 per barrel mark. And then in Eswatini, we've not seen any changes in Eswatini Stock Exchange. Then in terms of our commodities, gold is down because, expectations of a ceasefire, as we've had coming out of Washington, while oil also remains subdued because we're expecting a ceasefire, so we're still trading at $92 per barrel. And then in terms of the currencies, because of the looming end to the crisis, the Lilangeni is trading stronger against the rand, against the dollar, against the euro, and also against the Japanese yen, as we are seeing a return of currency traders into emerging market currencies, given that we might be getting to a ceasefire pretty soon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spear. That was in-house economist Sanele Sibia coming through with insights on today's trade. Otherwise, this has been the Tuesday edition of Market View. From myself and the team, thank you for your company. Until next time, take care.